because your need and my need are both priorities for each of us.
So let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I want you to think about it like this. If I'm horny 5 times throughout the day and I have to meet your emotional need 5 times throughout the day, I would feel drained completely, right? So, but no, this listen to me. So for men, it's like I'm horny right now. I'm not thinking about, and this is true. We're not thinking about. I need to meet her emotional need first for her to want
Here's
to
where I'm
reciprocate
glad you said that.
this for me.
I'm glad you said that.
Why?
The reason I'm glad you said that is because what you're saying is as if you're doing it for that moment. What we're saying is it doesn't have to be for the moment that you're horny. It's prior to that, so that when that moment comes, there's no second thought about it because I am filled up. I do want to now reciprocate that. I do want to show my love in that way. Does that make sense? Like, and so the way you just put it is probably the issue is because you're thinking, okay, I'm horny right now. Let me go, ooh, you're so cute. Oh my gosh, how's your day? Kiss on your forehead. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right, yeah.
no, it's not at that moment. It's prior to that moment. That's why in that moment you feel the resistance because you're like, oh my God, like it's time now. And so that's where we're always talking about you didn't fill up my love bank because the love bank runneth over. Okay. Like I just feel like that's something that's always, if it's always being deposited in, that's why when before you married, it's easier to do. You know what I'm saying? Because you taking me on dates. I think the problem is, and you know, my married wife friends can probably attest to that, is that, and of course, you know, you implementing full-time jobs, you implementing kids. There's a lot more to it where we can't just say, this is y'all argument all the time, is that I can't take you out on as many dates as I want to have sex with you though. And it's like, that's not the point. It's the intentionality and the attention to detail. And this is what it says, right? In most cases, right? In most cases, a woman needs to feel emotionally bonded with her man before she has sex with him. Sex for her becomes a physical expression of the emotional bond. She achieves this feeling through the exchange of affection and undivided attention.
So it's saying that when we give you the attention you desire,
We want to reciprocate it with your need.
right? But I still feel like I still feel like there's going to be strife though.
I feel like there's always going to be an imbalance. I agree, especially when you do start incorporating stuff like kids and all this stuff, careers and building businesses, etc. I always feel like there will be an imbalance, but I think the absent part is that there's more women to me that are willing to meet their man's need than the man is willing to be intentional about focusing on what she would need in order for that to never have to continue, at least to be a question.
You think that?
I do, because it's like I'm more intentional now. I'm more what do you call it? I'm more cognizant. Like I pay more attention to the time frames. I pay more attention to the types. I pay more attention to your mood. I pay more attention to my like how I show you how I give you what you need, with or without what I need. But it's like we just were talking about this the other day where we went out of town for my uncle's funeral, so we were and it was around the same time as Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And I'm like, I need time with you. I need time without the baby. I just need some intimate connecting time with you. Can we make sure? I said, please make sure while we are home and your parents, my parents, we have an opportunity to have babysitters. Please make sure you take me out. And it was a request, you know what I'm saying? Not an ultimatum, but it was a request. So it's like, I'm now paying attention to, are you paying attention to what I'm telling you I literally need right now?
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And so when we end up getting an argument in regards to his need and her need, your need for sex, right? Consistent sex or more sex, and my need for like, nigga, I literally asked you for one thing.
Right.
That you did not do. I don't understand like how you could even be mad at me for frequency when you didn't even do the one thing I asked of you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so when we're talking about like being intentional or like focusing on that level of intimacy and affection. And because it literally says that is what shows us security, protection, comfort, and that you literally just care.
See, here's the thing though. So does it have to start with man being there for woman in order for man to have?
No, because you acting
You know,
like you're
because it
not.
sounds like it. I mean, it
No,
sounds like
because that would insinuate that you literally aren't having sex ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like for you to say that it's based off of a man coming, starting the whole ordeal, that would insinuate that you haven't had sex in forever, and that ain't true.
no. I'm just saying for men in general, because if we think about it statistic wise, most men are sexually deprived.
Whose statistics? I'm just playing.
Of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there was a study, I think it's 1 out of 3 men haven't had sex in like a year or more than that. You know, it's like over 70% of men haven't had sex in over a year. So most men are sexually deprived, whether they're in a relationship, whether they're married, whether they're single. Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is that men have to come to the woman first and meet her emotional need in order for their appetite to be fed.
But when you take a woman out, right? When you start to court somebody, you see somebody, you want to take them out, and you ultimately still want to get your need met if you're a single man, right? Mm-hmm. You're not about to, like, the date is filling up that bank, though. Like, it's different, of course, in marriage. There are different ways that you can do that, but you know what I'm saying? When was the last time that you think about, all right, cool, when we were in college or when I was in college and she was at home, I wake up to a long text just thinking about you. I just love you so much. I mean, you just mean the world to me. You know what I'm saying?
Funny.
Like, but those are the things that are happening in dating. And so the whole point of the book and what you talked about with the love bank is that this is what happens, and this is what you've now made me privy to. You made me used to this. And so when that stops, you acting like I feel like when that conversation happens, it's like you're not acting like the things that I'm now. You made me used to that.
Yeah, I think that's what makes marriage work, is because now we wasn't together every day,
right?
You know, when we were dating and stuff like that. So obviously the heart grows fonder. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we were,
but we wasn't in each other's space every day. It's so different when it comes to being married. You know what I'm saying?
Especially in 2022 when everybody's at home all the time. Work from home, business from home, home from home.
So it's so much harder when it comes to marriage. So that's where the work has to begin. And I think a lot of that has to come with maturity and the want to. And I'll be honest, I don't think a lot of men want to learn, want to grow in that area or be more communicative. But I also think more women don't, they say they want a man to do that so they can meet that man's need more, but I still don't think they would be meeting that man's need in that way if that was to, even if they were to get that need met emotionally.
I don't think so. I really don't.
I really do though, because
I don't.
Because there's such an imbalance. There's such an imbalance when y'all don't need it as much as this naturally.
So you're talking about from a frequency standpoint.
Frequency, all that. Yes.
Are you talking quantitative?
Yes, because I mean,
So
y'all couldn't physically have sex as many times as men want.
So if you took me out on a date once a week, you now expect sex how many times a week? Does that make sense? Like,
what is that? What? So you're saying that? So
I'm not saying that I need a date to sex ratio. That's not what I'm saying.
It sounds like it though.
It's not though, but that's what you're saying. You're saying, like, even if a man starts to text you and take you out, you're not gonna have sex with him as much as. Let's get to the sex part.
I just want people to understand that this is why the book was written and why they said whatever the woman needs emotionally the most, men need it the least. And this is why the problem lies, is because yes, y'all want to be courted, y'all want, you want your emotional need met, you want to have these affectionate conversations, you want us to be more affectionate, and that is the last thing that's on our mind. But the first thing is sex, and that's the last thing on y'all's. So this is why the strife is there, is because we can never come to a common ground on this until we're willing to. And they talk about in his book, and I don't know if we want to get into that yet, but he talked about being being happy doing things for your spouse
Yes.
that you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? That you
No,
wouldn't
and
necessarily want to do.
but that was my whole point, though.
If you like this clip, don't forget to write a review, like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we'll see you in the next episode.